Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Back again. Uh, let's get right into the review, guys. Like I said, guys, apologize for the lateness, but life can you do, right? So today I'm gonna review the books that came out for December 2nd, and got a good, decent. If you saw the first review that I did, you kind of got a glimpse of what was gonna be reviewed in a sense. So we're gonna just get right into this. I got so for the month of the week of the 2nd of December, I picked up some Marvel, DC, one DC, and three independent. So let's get right into the show. Let's start off with Avengers, all new, all different Avengers #2. Yeah, I heard of this Mark Waid guy before, and this guy's got some magic, and this Andy Kubert dude, sounds familiar. Uh, I don't know, but all joking aside, first of all, as always, the Alex Ross covers are beautiful, as always. Wade, ladies and gentlemen, is really bringing back what the Avengers, the purpose of the Avengers in a sense. A lot of the past writers of the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think, have lost that mono a little bit. Jonathan Hickman, even Bendis, I'll even throw in there. I mean, Hickman, he did this whole Avengers World thing, and on the main roster, he had over 25 members, and it was just like, I think you're pushing it a little bit right there, Mr. Hickman. But in here, Wade get back to basics with the Avengers, and that's what I've been loving so far. We're only 2 issues in, but yeah, he's back to basics of what it means to be an Avenger. It's basically, what is the motto? Heroes coming together basically to fight a threat that one hero can't. And in this, it's the team coming together to face this Chitauri ultimate warrior in a sense, and who Nova Sam Alexander has had a run in before. Hell, he even says it. I shot this guy into the sun. How'd he survive? And it's pretty much the team coming together to face this threat, but also there are also other players involved with this that they don't know about. In this issue, we do get to see Vision. Finally, he makes his appearance and he helps Tony out. Um, Sam also helps. Not Sam. Um, Miles helps Sam, patches up his legs, his wounds that he had, and Kamala and Sam Alexander, they are still not really liking each other too much. They're constantly kind of bickering at each other. But and then Thor makes her debut at the end. So the team is all put together, but they're still not officially called the Avengers. But they they are ready to take on this Chitauri threat, and this was good. Not going to spoil too much, even though this book has been out for a couple of weeks already. Still don't want to spoil. I'm still reviewing these books if they were new. And just do yourself a favor, Mr. Wade. You are still spotting that magic. Um, this was good. Very good indeed. Let's move on to All New X-Men #1. Hopeless. One of my favorite artists, Mark Bagley, on the artwork. Yeah. Uh, I like the team. So the team is basically all over the states. Some are here, some are here. It's almost like they're trying to get out and forget what's the negative stuff that's going on. Uh, they're trying to find Scott, for example, and he can't be found. And then one of the other things is we are getting some, I guess you could say, followers of older Scott, who is dead, that we find out is dead and now, and they're like following in his footsteps. They're just followers. And Scott sees them there in Chicago, and I'm looking at these mutants, and one of them just really just caught my eye. I think you probably heard Blue Goblin talk about it, but for me, this guy Thirst, I don't understand. I just don't think harfing, barfing up water is a cool mutant power. I'm just like, that's really kind of weird. It's just kind of nasty in a sense as well. Scott is able to kind of deal with them, not even using his powers. He's actually able to just hand to hand. He even says like they're younger than me, but they're untrained. And the rest of the team are just, they finally are able to find Scott later on, and they're in this big Winnebago in a sense. And outside it looks cheap and crappy, but inside, Beast, talk about hooked it up. Yeah, he hooked it up big time. It reminded me a little bit of the TARDIS. You know, looks like this little phone booth outside of it. When you get inside of it, it's this huge. That's kind of how his little mobile home reminded me of. But this was a good start. This, I once again will agree with Blue Goblin. This really feels like a new beginning, a new chapter with the past X-Men. But I did enjoy this very much. Um, hope you keep it up, Mr. Hopeless, because I didn't like your. I think you were the one that wrote it. I didn't like your Young Avengers run, so please, please keep it up. Correct me on that one, guys. I could be wrong with that. All right, let's move on. Here it is. Daredevil, Man Without Fear, #1, Mr. Soul, and Ron Gardner does the artwork. You probably remember him from doing the old Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, good stuff. Mr. Soul, I like where you're going with this. I like the take of the vibe of the comic. Like it's colored, but then it's kind of got this noirish look to it, almost like it's going back to its roots. A little bit dark, but keeping it still up there and kind of light. Now, Mr. Wade, you did a fantastic job with your run. You gave Daredevil a present that we haven't seen in a long time. But here, when I heard Mr. Soul was taking over, I was like, he could probably do, especially when it comes to the lawyer stuff, because he did a fantastic job with She-Hulk. She's a lawyer, and but in this, the book starts off pretty much cool. Like Matt just jumps off a bridge to save a witness. Now, his partner, this guy right here, Blind Spot, is pretty cool. He can go intangible, invisible, and things like that, which is really cool. But Matt fights this group called the Ten Fingers or Ten Hands or something like that, and he even says that these guys are not like some straight punk thugs that just brawlers. These guys are trained, and he even says it in the book. He's like, these guys are trained almost as if they would been trained by Iron Fist for 10 years. And we get to see Matt being what he is. Now he's a district attorney now. He prosecutes the bad guys instead of a defense attorney now. He's not that anymore. But the real question that you probably ask yourself, okay, so what's going on? Does everybody still know that Matt Murdock and Daredevil are the same? No, I'm going to spoil that for you. Something happened prior to the 8 months in terms of the Secret Wars and everything like that. Something happened because Everybody has forgotten that Matt and Daredevil are the same person, except for one person. That's Foggy. Him and Foggy have had kind of a falling out now. Now, Mr. Soul, you've been killing it on the Inhuman side. I've been loving what you've been doing with the Inhumans. Please, I'm begging you, sir, please, do not, I repeat, do not go down that a stupid one more day route where we're saying that Matt Murdock made a deal with the devil himself, Mephisto, to wipe everybody's memory. Because then right there, I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, and I'm going to say it before, I kid you not, I swear on my late mother's grave, if that is the excuse, if that is the product of why nobody knows Matt's identity, I'm going to have a heart attack, because that would be sloppy and just poor. Please tell me you're not going to do that again. I beg you, sir. But other than that, this was good. And as for Ten Fingers himself, that guy's fucking creepy. I mean, this dude has 10 fingers on both hands. That's just fucking creepy. Yeah. Oh yeah, and by the way, Blind Spot is actually Asian, so a new cool new Asian character in the Marvel universe. I can dig it. Alright, so we move on to Doctor Strange #3. Jason Aaron's Chris Baccio. Like I said, I'm tolerating Baccio's artwork, and it works. I talked to another good friend of mine, and yeah, it works in this series. I'm not the big Chris Baccio fan, but it works in this series. And once again, Aaron's keeps up that trippiness, that old school weird vibe. Doctor Strange. In this, Strange is dealing with armada of parasites that only he can see, because he has the eye of Agamotto and things like that, his third eye. Nobody else can see it. He's running around almost entirely. Even you can't see it here, but on the cover he's in his underwear. At one point he's butt ass naked. At one point, and I'm just like, what the? And but he and Wong are able to stop the threat that was dishing out with this invasion, like parasites that are hungry. They feed off of magic. And then enter the main, guess, antagonist for this story arc. Individuals, I guess, from another dimension that feel that magic is a art of destruction. And they are the ones responsible for killing other Sorcerer Supremes from other dimensions. And go. Mr. Orange, you got my attention, sir. Extraordinary X-Men #3, Mr. Lemire. This was good. Once again, not the biggest Herbo Ramos fan either. I'm not big on his artwork too, but it works here. Storm has a great moment as the X-Men are dealing with, because you got to remember, X-Haven now, the X-Men school, the X-Haven, is in limbo, the dimension that Illyana has, rules over them. But since she's not there, the demons and all the fire demons and everything are now attacking. So the X-Men have got to fight against that. Iceman has a moment here. My man Bobby, he pulls a Naruto with his ice clones. And I'm glad they're still keeping him great. Jeff Lemire writes him great. But the biggest selling point of this issue is the two characters you see on the cover right here. Yes, indeed. There are great moments between young Jean and old man Logan. And she's understanding why old man Logan is the way he is, why he feels he's destined. He can't stay around people because he's destined to kill the X-Men. Jean believing Wolverine telling Jeannie basically, and you're destined always to die. Jeannie is like, fuck that shit. Because as all, and I'm a believer in it myself, nothing is written in stone. We make our own destiny. Nothing's written. Nothing is written out for us. We make our own path. We strive to it. Go. But Logan looks at it from another point of view of why because even though, and still, I kind of even went back and read a little bit of Old Man Logan not too long ago, just to understand, because Mysterio is the one that made him basically had Logan believe that he was killing villains, but instead he was actually killing the entire X-Men. Okay? I'm still trying to figure out how Logan didn't get a scent like, okay, these are not who they. I've always wondered about that. But in this, he even questions like, look, maybe Mysterio did do it, maybe blah 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 this, but still, I killed the X-Men under my hand. But that was pretty much the key element of this issue, was the Jean and Wolverine. Now, do they come and help the X-Men? Yeah, they do. But this was good. Lemire is doing a good job with Extraordinary X-Men. All right, let's move on to, here it is, guys. Invincible Iron Man #4. Make way for Mary Jane. Bendis Marquez's artwork's still on point. Picks up right where that last issue left off, where Tony is fighting Ninja. Still on the track of trying to catch up to Whitney Frost, aka Madame Mask, because she's on this high, power high, and Tony's able to deal with these ninja, and we find out they're not as human ninja as they are, which was interesting. He goes to, I guess you could say, a Make-A-Wish, and brings a little joy to the sick children, and they're all like, "You're not." He's like, "Hey kids, how you doing?" And they're like, "Where are they?" And he's like, Where's what?" He's like, "Where's your armor?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't bring it." And they get all upset about it, but then he's like, "No, I didn't bring them. I brought them all." And all the armor's coming, and and next you know, he's having fun with the kid, and who does he see in the corner? Doctor Doom standing there, and he's like, "What the?" So he has all the armors like, and next you know, he goes up. They go upstairs in the roof, and they're like, and he's literally saying to Doctor Doom, "What are you doing here?" And Doom said, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "I'm here to cheer up kids." And Doom says something that I thought was kind of interesting, but it kind of makes sense. He's like, "If you want to cheer them, why don't you cure them of their illnesses?" And it's like, okay. But the basis pretty much is they looking for Whitney, and she ends up in Chicago. Now, what about Mary Jane? She has, guys, this book was all hype because she's only in 2 panels. 2. And MJ now is in Chicago now. She felt that she needs to be in a city where there aren't any heroes, things like that. And let's face it, in the Marvel Universe, there are not a lot of heroes, or ain't any, in Chi-Town. So she opens Jackpot there. She opens another club there. And I'm gonna end it right there. But other than that, this was all right. Just a little hyped. I think people got too hyped over this cover, because that's all it is, a cover. But it is kind of sad that MJ is nowhere near New York. She's in New York. I mean, come on. Oh, whatever. Let's move on. And as you all know, you guys who follow me, you know that when it comes to any characters of this creed, I'm going to represent. Red Wolf, number 1. This is the variant cover. I like that cover. It's cool. Mr. Nathan Edmondson, once again, writing. Nathan Edmondson did a great job with titles like Deathlock, Black Widow. This basically is picking up almost in a sense of where we saw Red Wolf in the Secret War tie-in, and it picks up there. He is the sheriff now after Sheriff Steve Rogers died, and he's doing the best he can, as the sheriff. The people don't of Timely, get it? Don't really trust him. They calling him racial slurs, Injun. I ain't following no Injun, blah blah blah. Bullshit like that. And Red Wolf got to lay a little leather on, lay a little knucks on him, like tell him like, look, I'm the sheriff. I love his mother. His mother just straight up real with him all the time. I think that was cool. Now some people probably ask, so what tribe is Red Wolf? He's actually Cheyenne. He's a Cheyenne. He's from the Cheyenne tribe. The biggest Cheyenne tribe that I know of personally in the United States, I think, is up north in Montana and places up there. But in terms of that, then we enter the obstacle in this. Something's gone down. Red goes off to track this person down, and all hell breaks loose after that. The town folks even think that Red is responsible for one of his, the son of one of the, but he's not, and we get to see who it is. And then it takes a turn that I was just like, really? Why did it go that route? Basically now, guys, and I'm going to spoil it right here, is that Red is now in the year 2016 from the year 1872. So he's time traveled now. We see what happened. And I'm just like, okay, so that's how Red Wolf is here now. But other than that, Edmondson did a good job writing this. Do yourself a favor, if you are a fan and you're a fan of Mr. Edmondson's writing, Red Wolf, check it out. But good job, Mr. Edmondson. Good job indeed. We turn over to Spidey, number 1. Now, I wasn't really going to pick this up, guys. I actually was going to pass on this. But, and here's another artist I'm not really that big on. Nick Bradshaw. I'm not really big on his artwork. But basically, Spidey is telling the rookie years as Peter as Spider-Man. But they're twisting it a little bit in terms of modernizing his origin, because you're seeing cell phones, everything like that, and it's good. It's cool. It's really interesting to see Peter, just showcasing like Peter when he was young, him starting out as Spider-Man. We get to see, of course, all the classic supporting cast of Spider-Man: Harry, Gwen, Flash, and one of the main antagonists in it is a certain doctor, which was cool. And we also get to see White Rabbit. I was like, what? I thought that was interesting. And then it's that ending, and I'm just like, okay, you got me. But other than that, not bad. Spidey number 1, not bad at all. I'll continue reading. Star Wars number 13. Aaron's, and another one of my favorite artists, Mike Deodato on the artwork. Fuck yeah. Alright, let's just works perfectly with Star Wars. I really don't want to spoil too much because this is part 3 of 6 of the Vader Down story arc that's been going on. Without spoiling too much, even though once again, like I said, this has been out for. We have set up another android that looks like CP3TO, and another android that looks like R2, but he's not. He's more badass than R2. And we have Doctor Hans is on the who her name is 000, who is trying to who works for Vader. Han is able to track her down and save Luke. Um, there was a cool scene I like between Han and basically him keep talking and talking and talking just so his big Wookiee, aka Chewbacca, can sneak up on him. I thought that was badass. Deodato artwork is beautiful in this. Um, if Deodato is taking over the artwork for Star Wars, let him. No disrespect to um, I damn who's right who's doing the artwork before me. Um, damn, I'm forgetting his name right now, but I'm cool with Mike doing it. And it's that ending. Oh man, what happens with Leia? I'm gonna end it right there. Last Marvel book, and that would be the Totally Awesome Hulk. #1, Greg Pak back writing the Emerald Giant. Got Cho doing the artwork, and Amadeus Cho is the Hulk now. Is a Hulk. Now, first of all, let's get this right away. Is Bruce Banner dead, or is he? Bruce Banner is very much alive, and he's still the Hulk. All right. In this, we actually get to see him. He's working with Black Panther um, and Iron Man. But basically, Amadeus and his sister actually also. He's a 19-year-old boy. He's a super genius. He's what ranked the 8th or 7th smartest person in the Marvel universe. That's what Hank Pym says. And but he's the Hulk here, and he's just hitting on any big-breasted, cute chick that he can see, and he's like, he's knocking these creatures around. Then next year he goes, and he's like, "So, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm the Hulk," and wow, and it's just like, what the, and there seems to be once again some kind of falling out between because when his sister compares him to Bruce Banner, he kind of like, "I'm not Banner," and almost like he gets so angry that what happens, you get angry. But he teams up with Miles and She-Hulk, and he is just like really razzing She-Hulk, calling old woman. She's like 40 years old, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, boy, I'm gonna slap you, Amadeus. Um, and then enters, I guess, the main villain for this series, Lady Warbringer. And I'm not gonna lie, she looks fierce. She looks a little scary. And looks like Amadeus Cho is in for a run for his money. But other than that, this was a good start. Good start to the series. I want to know what's going on with Moira, with Bruce, and things like that. But as a Hulk fan, this was really good, and this should really give people who are of Korean descent a little bit of a, hey, look, there's one of us in the comics, and he's a hero. You gotta remember, Amadeus Cho is Korean American, so but this was good. The Totally Awesome Hulk. Move on to the only DC book, and that's Cyborg #5. David Walker's still doing a good job with this. Basically, guys, these techno sapien creatures are still dishing out their menacing havoc. Victor is trying to do the best he can. You know, he needs a little help. The Metal Men are doing their thing as well and holding down the line, holding the line, and they are calling the Techno Sapiens. These aliens are calling Cyborg the Chosen One, and it gets even better. And from there, there's a great line drop that Victor says for late great Roddy Piper. And there's, but this was good. This was very good indeed. I think there's one more for this story arc, and then we move on to the next. But yeah, good stuff. Last books, all from Indie, and I got 2 from Dynamite and 1 from Action Labs. And the first one we're dealing with is Actionverse number 0. Um, basically, Jamal Eagle, uh, Ray Anthony Height, Sean Ezekis, Vito DeSalle, and Nate Lovick. Basically, what this is basically showcasing that the heroes of Action Lab are in the same universe, Actionverse. So we have Molly Danger, who is this young little girl, like I guess she's like 10 years old, but she's a powerhouse, and she's got like 30 years of experience. She's she looks young, but she's got hell of experience. She's out of all 3 of these, out of Midnight Tiger and Stray, formerly known as Rockwaller, she has the most experience. And the team comes together. These 3 heroes come together to deal with Hyena. This guy right here, Hyena. Um, and it's a cool team up in there. They're just really like getting along. At first, they didn't. First, Midnight Tiger and Stray, like I said, aka Doberman, didn't really get along too. Like they got into a straight up fight in their civvies. They weren't in costume. They were in their civvies. Um, and it pretty much was over Hyena. Later, they team up. They deal with the situation, analyze the situation, and one more selfie for the road. But this was fun. This is fine indeed. Looking forward to seeing more of this. Do yourselves a favor. If you're not reading anything from Action Labs Entertainment, I recommend you do. Midnight Tiger by Mr. Height is good. Stray, that Mr. DeSanti wrote, the 4-part miniseries, that was good. And I've never read Molly Danger, but I like what I see in this. She's cool too. Good stuff. We move on to Dynamite and number 2 of Cage Hero. Kevin Eastman and Parker does the artwork. So Ryan Stone is jumped into the middle of what's supposed to be his destiny. He sees that this reporter that once is more than meets the eye, and now he has to go with them. We get a really good in-depth more story into the concept of why the 2 oppositions are going after these young teenagers who practice different disciplines of martial arts. We got boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and Ryan is really just the main character here, who is a wrestler. He's very much like, I don't know, think I'm over my head, and we get to see that he and the rest of his fellow Cage heroes are getting along very well. They're sharing secrets about their discipline. You know, like I said, one's a boxer and things like that. But it gets more in depth into why these young individuals are together, and it takes place in the Vietnam War. Um, and that was really good storytelling by Eastman. But other than that, this was good. Um, Nothing really to complain about. Keep it up. Last but not least, we go back to 007, James Bond. This is issue number 2. Warren Ellis, Ken Masters does the artwork. So James is on assignment. He heads to Berlin. He gets to Berlin. He gets into what is supposed to be, I guess, his chauffeur, his entourage. You know, basically somebody bringing him to where he's supposed to go. And turns out she's not. She tries to choke this dude. Tries to choke James out. And then when he gets there, he gets the 411 on what's going on. They're trying to decipher who this person was that nearly killed Bond. Um, and it gets more intense from there, especially by the end of the book. And it made you wonder, like, okay, who's, once again, that whole Bond thing of like, who do you trust? Hubba, 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 who do you trust? Yeah, and this was really good. This, the writing of this Bond, or I should say, the Bond here, like I said, he reminds me of a little bit of a mixture. He has a little bit of Sean Connery, and of course Pierce Brosnan. Definitely see a lot of Pierce Brosnan's Bond, but other than that, it was really good. And this is the woman that I was talking about that nearly choked him out. We find out that her hands, something wrong with her hands. But other than that, this was good, and looking forward to more. Looking forward to issue number 3. James Bond, 007. Well, guys, there you guys have it. The books that came out for December 2nd that I picked up. I'll be back for more once again. I'm still catching up, guys. But I'll be back again when I give you the books that came out for the week for December 9th. And then of course the books that came out for the 16th. But other than that, and then I'll be all caught up. But other than that, guys, as always, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. Subscribe, leave your comments in the section. Please leave your comments in the section. What did you think of the books? Did you get any of the same books that I get? Because my giveaway still is around, and so far there's only like one guy, I think, that may get it this year because he's the only one that's been commenting on my stuff. Like I said, you comment, I put your name in the raffle, you win. There you go. But other than that, thank you for listening. I got tons. I gotta put on my Tumblr and my Facebook account. Tons of Marvel codes to give out for free. And other than that, you guys take care. I'm out.